Welcome to the Sacad Show, your front seat role to the journeys of leaders, innovators, and change makers redefining what's possible. My name is Sacad Goulet, and I will be your host today. And today, I'm honored to sit down with my good friend, Chef Jamal Hashi, a Somali American chef, cultural entrepreneur, and community builder. Jamal's journey has taken him from Harlem, New York, to Minneapolis, Minnesota. And along the way, he's built restaurants, launched food programs feeding thousands of people, and created cultural projects that inspire across the globe. Jamal, thank you so much for being here. It's been a long time.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Happy to be here. It's been a long time coming for sure.
What's going on, man?
Man, I'm proud of your journey.
Thank
You know
you.
what I mean? We both come from the same background, same upbringing, and it hasn't been an easy journey, but I'm really proud of you. Staying, positive, staying in purposeful, and being of service as much as I can, to be honest with you.
It's beautiful, man. And the feeling's mutual. It's been, so those who don't know, Jamal and I go way back. He's one of my childhood friends.
Absolutely.
Been a great dude since I've met him. And here, so today you will be able to learn a lot from Jamal. For those who don't know who Jamal is, big figure in the community, and I'm so happy that he's here with us today. And Jamal, why don't you talk about what's been going on with you in these past couple of years before we really dive into?
Oh man, I think that first and foremost in our community, mashallah, I think that we've seen a ton of growth. In the realm of entrepreneurship, in the realm of education. We've been a big part of Minneapolis' growth, and I'm really happy that this has become home for me. Like I'm rooted here. This is where I've committed to. This is home. It feels amazing.
No, I can appreciate being a Minnesotan for sure. I know
absolutely.
people complain about the winters and stuff like that. But like you said, this has been home for us for a couple of decades now.
A couple of decades. We're not gonna name the times.
Right. For sure. Jamal, let's start because your story is really inspiring. And I think because context matters. Jamal, I want to ask you first, you've had such a unique path from Harlem to Minneapolis. What inspired you to use food as more than just nourishment, but as a storytelling and a social change?
Great question, brother. That's very loaded. I think food is a language of itself. It's a medium. It's I think, I don't think of food as just something that fills your bellies. It's more than that. It is.
It's excitement.
It's excitement. You know what I mean? It is. To get more into the deep thing, it's food is a memory for me, to be honest. And it is, every bite of sambusa that we eat, every shah that we have, every bite of, bris, waslat, you know what I mean? Those are all memory. It reminds me of my Somali roots, reminds me of my going to my aunt's house, coming over to your house, and because of that, it is, how do I say this? It isn't just just filling bellies. It's far more than that. So it's a medium of communication and getting points across, getting cultures together, bringing people together. And I've just been really lucky to be in that position, to be chosen to represent. In addition of my own effort, I think it's some far greater power behind it that's pushing me to do this.
No, that's amazing, brother, and I really appreciate you for taking food as such way because I can't think of anybody in our city or even outside of Minnesota that really don't appreciate what you do. I remember when I started, of course, brother, when I started Sip Society, you were one of the first people that I called.
Correct.
And I don't know if you remember, because I do remember the little things. Even you directed me, coming down there and doing some tasting with us.
Correct.
And I can understand the passion behind it and how enthusiastic you about food. And we really appreciate you, brother. Jamal, when you first arrived in Minnesota back in long time ago, we're not going to name numbers, right?
So many years ago.
Yeah. What were some of the challenges that you faced here?
Man, the challenges of some of the early Somalis actually that we in the 90s when we first came here was you had to fight through stereotypes at the time, on the news, Black Hawk Down was happening,
You can understand that?
famines was happening, all this negative negative tropes were, coming across the airwaves.
Mhm.
And the only thing that people know of Somalia is what they saw in the media, you know. And it was a big challenge. There was another community that was here before us to show us the ropes.
Mhm.
So our parents had to have gone through, the winters here, the hardships here, learning the ways of the land, navigating the grocery store itself were difficulties, and it's a different for the Somalis that come today here, and I think the upbringing in Minnesota definitely taught us resilience. And one thing I recall also is like how we never like even at an early young age, growing up and this is like very common with a lot of Somali family homes. You have a single parent home, but the mother takes all that load that you never feel that there's any kind of struggle. The fridge is always full, rent is always being paid.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they navigated that, and they so now that as an adult, I'm looking back at that, it makes my time right now look like nothing because what they've gone through is very inspirational.
100%. And that's what I tell the next generation. I'm like, when we first came to Minnesota, we didn't have that person that we really look up to, that person that really paved the way for us. Because if you think about it, in our time, how many successful business owners do you know?
None at the time.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I tell this generation today, I consider them very lucky.
Very much.
Because they have people like us who they can really reach out to, who have done such an amazing job for ourselves and
Correct.
for others as well.
Correct.
So I can understand, because I share that experience with you, being right there with you, my brother.
Absolutely.
So I really appreciate you. Jamal, how has your Somali heritage shaped, not just for food that you make, but the way you really approach business and leadership?
Repeat that question for me again.
How was your Somali heritage shaped, not just the food you make, but the way you approach business and leadership? Just talk about your leadership skills and
So I think
how you approach business.
when I also, once again, I want to give gratitude to mashallah, to our hoyoyin, you know what I mean?
Mashallah.
To our moms, to my hoyo, Mama Fadumo,
Mama Fatima too.
you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Mama Fadumo.
Yes.
Ghair al-Hasiya.
Thank you, brother.
Ila ajr binsi, you know what I mean?
Ameen.
So we get our resilience from our hoyoyin Kenya by, taking on a lot of the duties for us, even though they didn't know the language, just like I was saying earlier. And her entrepreneurial traits, my mom would wake up 5 a.m, go to a bakery. She was a baker for like 20 years. No one knew that,
Oh, amazing.
And then in the afternoon, she had to go open a shop. So she has so she had 2 jobs, almost 2, to make sure that we, we never struggled, we never felt any, and that we wore the latest fashion to go to school, but we're not knowing that mom had to go and, actually make that happen, So shout out to her on that. And I think keeping it intact, she always also instilled in us, like, never to lose sight of who you are, even though we're in foreign lands, right? So, who, your grandparents were, where you come from, why your customs and culture is very important. So those things stay intact with you so that, when you go into the real world, you know what to contribute to the world. You're not just out there floating.
Yeah, 100%.
You have roots, where you're coming from, and it gives you a place to start from, like a point of origin. So shout out to and that, that was my rock that I always came back to, and having that influence from my,
Yeah, no, our mothers are, the backbones of, whatever we want to do, right?
Absolutely.
And it's amazing. So this actually started home. I didn't even know that.
It sure did.
Mom's was a baker.
Hoya was a baker, and I remember living in Virginia as well. This is way back in the 90s,
So do you bake? It's my next question.
So I do pastries. But I, specialize in, because that's a whole another science. When you talk about baking, it's, it looks like easy from the outside, but it's a whole another world, as you know.
Yeah.
So I do, a few stuff here and there, bread, cookies and etc. But all the stuff, I leave it to the people that know it better than me.
So if you really had to pick a side between cooking and baking, you would really stick to what you know.
I am happy where I'm at.
Okay.
You know, this world is definitely, and it's a continuous learning, right? So you never, ever get to a point where you're like, you know what? I'm here. Because right now, even though I've been doing this for 2 decades and a half, I am still learning. It's like and that's
and it never stops.
It never stops because there's always, levels that you can elevate to and reach to. So I'm not even nowhere near there.
I hear you. What's Chef Jamal's favorite dish?
My favorite dish, my favorite dish would have to be dishes that take me back to my childhood.
Okay.
Food that takes me back to, that gets me, and oftentimes, a lot of the times when I'm cooking, I cook from memory as well. I cook from something I tasted somewhere along the line, or I've had it somewhere, and and I've been lucky enough, alhamdulillah, that I've able to kind of, improve my palate. And I like cooking from, memory. So now my favorite dish, because it fluctuates, you know what I mean? Every week is different. So what I've been doing recently is, at home making handmade noodles with my daughter.
Oh, okay.
Handmade pasta. Beautiful. So we've been playing with a lot of starches.
Beautiful.
And that's been really a lot of fun to do so. So and I'm watching her learn that.
Amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. So
absolutely,
you're leading the way. I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
That's something that I would love to do one day. Hopefully,
yeah, I mean,
my little one's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have kids as well, and it's fun. It's fun on hand activities. We what we didn't have at the time, and when we were growing up, is iPads, all these things.
Yeah.
These things take away time from our kids, and a lot of the kids today, they call them the iPad kids, right?
Yeah.
Because they're like synonymous with that. They're all and we have to be careful of those things because they're also helping us raise our kids, right? So what that means is this is the moment that we're supposed to be stepping in as parents. So we need to save, in order for us to save our kids, I feel like we need to save ourselves first, right? Improve ourselves, learn, 100%. You know what I mean? And do the best we can because there's others, that are depending on you. Ayaya used to say, Ayaya. I don't know how to say it. My Ayaya is another individual I hold really in high regards because she taught me a lot, conversationally. So one thing she used to say is like, "Ganta the house, like put your hand down, so you can help those that that are below you that need your help, so you can pull them up, and also hold your hand up as well. So are they gonna, same thing is happening for you. So those
100%.
So you're a conduit, literally. So nothing stops with you.
The wisdom of Ayaya is.
So in the way she saw things and having that sort of until today it impacts the way I see the world for sure.
Man, I'm learning a lot about you, bro, because seems like we got similar backgrounds because
for sure.
My Ayaya raised me.
Mashallah.
I mean, alhamdulillah, my father and my mom and my whole family have always been in my life. But I am what they call Ayaya Kursi. Yeah, so Ayaya raised me,
I love
so
that.
I can understand, the discipline that comes from Ayaya's
very much.
Ayaya's way, that you do things in a specific way.
Absolutely.
And what do you like and how
Absolutely.
you really want things done.
Absolutely.
So I'm really grateful for Ayaya as well.
Very much. Very much.
Jamal, since we're in this topic, what's the one dish that never goes out of style?
Ooh, what is that one dish? So, one dish that will always stay within, depending on like what culture though, and what
any culture, but within Somali culture, I think for me, pasta and sacad will never go out of style for me.
Okay.
So anytime I am meal prepping or I'm making food by myself, I always do the pasta, the sugo, and the sacad. No matter how
that's the comfort for you.
Yeah, that does wonders for me.
Yeah.
So it's like my go-to.
So let me ask you this: was that your favorite?
Yes, it reminds me a lot of Ayaya, and also my Ayaya used to give me a lot of hilib, a lot of meat. So that was another thing. But right now, as I grow older, I really, I'm not really a big fan of hilib. I didn't like that much,
Facts.
But pasta, sugar, it will never go out of style for me. I don't care what you tell me.
Yeah,
it's not something that I will really stay away from.
Right. One thing I could say this right now. I think that is, me and Ishaq were supposed to do this project with Mayo Clinic.
Okay.
They reached out to us. They wanted to figure out a way to the challenge that's facing our community, because when you have a concentrated community, particularly like for example in Rochester, they're able to the demographics figure out Yeah, we're having a certain issue. So there was a high hypertension, and diabetes and so on, particularly to our community. And that's usually related to the diets and how we eat and what we eat. And, unfortunately, a lot of things that are in the States are shelf stable foods, and such simple things. So simple things that we're adding to our rice, the chicken bouillon thing,
Yeah.
the, the spices, the salt, all of this are like not an actual food. So it's very different from the food that Somalis eat back home
Yeah.
and the food that we eat here today
Oh yeah.
on a different spectrum.
Yeah. No, it's not even comparable because I went back to the motherland the first time in like 26 years for the first time this summer.
Yeah.
Man, I was like, I don't even know what we eat back in America because the food over there, the motherland really, it was amazing. It was amazing, bro. I could taste everything.
Absolutely.
I could I'm eating
I
bread
hear you, man.
because
Yeah,
for example,
you can tell that. Right?
yeah, bread should have what? Two things.
Yeah.
Flour and salt.
Salt. That's it.
That's it.
But what do you have in the flour in America? I mean, everything you look at.
Millions of different things.
Exactly. So here's one thing that I would love my people to take away from this. So as I stayed in food myself, I was a chef for many years. I went to culinary school, right? And then so my nutrition part came because I saw the need for it as well. In order for me to elevate to the next level, I had to push myself to, so I became a nutritionist. And that opened a whole another door. Then I was like, okay, I need to learn about the food systems and the food ways. I have to go out of my way to go learn about these things, right? Because they're all tied to each other eventually, And it's it's a constant learning. But those knowledge, it's a mind blowing. So I feel the need to come and also share with my community as well. Because even the spices that we use, we have to be careful with that as well. Because what do you remember Marcas Okures? You had kali moyo.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
Or you had kali moyo, right? And fresh or either a whole spices, black pepper, kolfihi, helki, Yeah. But now everybody's buying powdered, and pre-made, and those have their things in them too, because they have fillers in there. They have
grounded stuff.
Yeah. So the spice might be like 10%. The rest is like wood shavings. Generally, it's considered safe because it's just gonna come out anyway. But those wood shavings, have harms as well, and it takes away the quality of the spice. So I always use fresh spice. Don't buy any powdered spices. Anytime you have shelf stable food and you put it in your body, it's shelf stable in your body as well. So if you have love handles, all that good stuff, remember, it's coming from as a result of a shelf stable food.
Yeah.
So if you have food that's in a package and it's gonna stay, it's not gonna expire more than 7 days. It's not gonna expire in your body for more than 7 days. So you have to eat perishables. You have to eat greens. You have to eat your food like it's medicine. And
what you put your body is.
It is exactly how you're gonna, because eventually, otherwise, what's gonna happen is you're gonna eat your medicine as your food because you didn't, it's too late. But we're living in a consumerism society, so they push all these things on us and our kids and all that stuff. But it's up to us as parents. You know what I did with my kid? There's nothing that is like, we don't eat chips at my house, no cookies.
Oh,
straight. I mean, because I want to introduce my daughter that she has to have fresh stuff. So I have available grapes, cucumbers. I slice cucumbers. I just set it on the table. I don't force her to eat, but I make it available for her.
That it's an option.
That is an option, right? Grapes, mangoes. So she gets hungry, and I just come to the table. It's finished already. So then I'll replace it for her. So then recently, last week, we went to a birthday party. Cakes, cupcakes, all this. The kids were going, all that stuff. My daughter went to the fruit basket. She was tearing it up.
Because she sees from home.
Yeah, because that's what she's like. I don't like the other stuff because this is the stuff. You know what I mean?
So we have to on the table. Yeah.
We have to save ourselves as well and be of use to our kids as well. You know what I mean? Because if you know better, then you got to do better for your kid as well. So I think it starts at home as well. And it's, as parents, me and you, it's our responsibility as well to be able to.
100%.
You know what I mean?
No, thank you so much. I think that's it's a great aspect to make sure that you introduce that to your children. This is very beneficial to those who really always wonder, even, not only to the Somali culture, but the Black culture in general.
Fact.
High blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol.
Correct.
It's a
So
common
it's
thing
very much.
that doctors consider those sickness as a silent killers,
Very much. So.
right? What foods or what would you tell for those people who really have those conditions? What are some foods to avoid? What are some of your go-to foods for people who are
Immune
got
deficiency.
those
Yeah.
conditions?
I think, first, I want you to see your stomach as they call it, like the second brain. Your first, because they're connected together.
100%.
The first thing that, when you're in your mom's womb, it's your stomach and those are the first two that are connected. It's two, they literally look alike. It's two brains, right? So, what you put in your belly, it also affects your mind as well. And I think that my recommendation is, it's really hard because right now, there's all sorts of issues. It's multi-layered, you know what I mean? There's abundant of foods, but actually there isn't. It's actually a food desert. So, you saw recently this administration pushing for, we got to take away this stuff. We got to take away all this GMO stuff. We got to take away this stuff, cereal stuff, the colors added.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
absolutely right. But then the other discussion that's missing out of there is if junk food is removed completely, right, to match that of the Euro. Euro is small. Europe is very small.
Very small, yeah.
These countries are, they're tiny, like,
Exactly.
So, but, America is
State
really,
of Texas can
you know what I mean?
be,
Exactly. State of Texas can absorb half of Europe.
yeah, 100%.
So what you have to realize is that there's not enough fresh food in America. So if junk food and all this shelf-stable food were removed,
What are people going to eat?
there'll be fights, there'll be wars.
People will eat each other.
People will, for sure. Bob Marley said the best. He said, "A hungry man is an hungry man."
Yeah.
100%. So, so with that said, I think junk food sort of keeps, certain people at bay. So like you were talking about right now, the African American, the black culture here. And I want you to know we are in that trade as well. We are on the same boat, whether we like it or not. Right? So I know a lot of Somalis to think, okay, hey, yeah, we came from Africa, yada, yada, yada. But, the white man doesn't see you any different.
Yeah.
You're the same brush.
Exactly.
You're NIGGA.
Yeah.
You feel me? Whether you like it or not. You feel me?
Yeah.
So the one struggle is the same thing that we have, making better choices and also fighting for, because, access to healthy food is a human right. You know what I mean? To have it's a human right. It's a basic human, you know what I mean? So I think it is an important thing in our community that we discuss that and we make each other aware that, hey, we have to lean away from this trash food and eat more healthy food. Mm-hmm. Eat less. You don't have to eat all the time. My mother was also telling me, I was like, she fasts continuously, like every Monday and Thursday, right? But then the other days that she's not fasting, she's eating only 1 or 2 meals. Grain-based and then meat-based. She figured a balanced diet that works for her, right? But your stomach, let's go back to your stomach. The simple thing that it needs is spectrum, right? Spectrum, it's like food that consists of every color.
Yes.
Right? You have the greens, you have the red, the pink, you know what I mean? All of this stuff, right? If you're not eating that spectrum of colors in your order of that food, you're eating all the greens, you're eating all the reds, and all of those, each one serves a great purpose in your body. Reds for your blood, greens, you know what I mean? So each one, you have to eat the spectrum. You can't just eat fast foods because it doesn't have that spectrum. You're getting only one part, but if you're not getting the full spectrum, you're bound to get diseases.
100%. Man, no, that's really the truth because as you get older, you realize a lot.
Facts.
When we were a lot younger, we never made, visits to the hospital.
Not at all.
Now, in our age, it's like,
also it's an issue.
I go to my annual visits,
Mm-hmm.
like I say, annually, and my doctor would say, the less visits that you come here,
the better.
Yeah, the better because it's all about the food.
Absolutely.
It's all about the food. It's all about what you put what you put into your body.
Correct.
And for me, that has been the challenge because as business owners, sometimes, and I shouldn't say that because I don't want to sound like I'm giving myself an excuse, but it's like sometimes when you have like 15-hour days,
Mm-hmm.
when do you have the right time to prepare something fresh or something clean.
Yeah.
So here and there you can slip, but I think like Jamal said, it's really best to know what you put your body into.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's because food is medicine as well, man.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, and the way you look at it, is as if it is medicine. Because all the purpose each one does. So like, I'll eat watermelon, right? If I'm eating watermelon, I'll have to have watermelon with seeds, because watermelon with seeds will give you those seeds. If I go plant it in my backyard, it'll get under this.
Can you touch quickly? What is the main difference between watermelon with seeds and the one that don't have seeds?
Very simple. Watermelon with seeds gives life. Watermelon without seeds stops there,
simple.
so it doesn't give life.
Yeah, because a lot of people might not know that.
Yeah, so it's just right there. And I think that the seeds are actually really good for you too, right? So when you eat the seeds and you consume them, your body uses it takes all the nutrients that it needs, minerals that it needs, right? And then it gets fiber from all of that, your body, and then comes out the other end, right?
Yeah.
But, so when I'm eating my watermelon, I would add sea salt to it, because I'm like, okay, this is, it's, I'm trying to hydrate myself the fastest possible. If I add sea salt to it, it retains in my body and I feel it right away. I'll take a watermelon and add sea salt. And like,
that does wonders for you.
It has, I'm talking about, like, you know what I mean? It's incredible. It's like I went and got an IV. I feel rehydrated, right? So, and I get hungry or something, I'm at home or whatever else, I'll chop up some fruits. It's like 9 o'clock, man. I can't eat all that. If I eat fruits, my body will digest it and I'll feel, amazing. So one thing that I want people to take away from this is that eating, when they say balanced diet, what does that mean? It means that whenever you eat something called macronutrient or macro. Macro is anything that's like pasta, rice, breads, burgers, canes, you name it. All this stuff are just called macro, right? They're all like carbs based or whatever else. Then there's the micronutrient aspect, which is the greens, like, raw vegetables, raw fruits, you know what I mean? Those
good stuff.
So you need to take equal parts. And if you're going to take more of one, you have to take the micro, because your body is electrolyte based, you know what I mean?
100%.
Electricity way,
Yes.
You need to constantly be active. You need to constantly be charged, right?
Yeah.
So you get this from these foods that are alive, right? And the great thing about fruits is it's getting hit by the sun, right? So it's like, God is cooking this food for us.
Yeah.
So you're eating this and you're getting the vitamin D's and you get in the sun. But then when you have man-made, and it's been highly processed food, and it has been, they add a lot of the chemicals to make you addictive to taste, you know what I mean? Then that is not food. What that is, and then you also become lethargic. You become lazy. You can't move. It stops you from thinking, you don't have clear, mind. So what you eat really matters. So a lot of young brothers I have also mentored, I tell them that, you have to start this diet early young so that your body can adapt to it. If you're burping a lot, you know what I mean? That means you have imbalanced diet. If you're getting heartburn, your cure is not medicine. It's correcting your diet.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're saying all this stuff, that means your diet. All that simply means is there's less oxygen in your belly.
100%.
So lavjeh, the one thing that I would say to a lot of my people is raw vegetables is your cure, not Zantac 75.
Yeah. Oh,
So, eating a lot of greens, it provides oxygen to your stomach. You know what happens then? You're not burping no more. It's like, it brings the acidity down. You have alkaline in your belly. So yeah.
No, I appreciate you. That's a really game right there. Jamal, I know everybody has a purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
In the morning when you wake up, what motivates Jamal Hashi? What motivates Chef Jamal?
I can tell you it's definitely not money.
Okay. Glad to hear that.
Yeah. The works I do for me right now, first, it has to be something that means more than me. It has to be something that's purposeful. And then money comes at the third aspect, which means that I have to take time away from my family and stuff like that as well. That's how I will calculate it. But what motivates me is the work that I do, and always being in a, trying to be in a space of purposefulness. If I don't have nowhere to go, when I'm leaving my house, I have to leave my house. I'm gonna go do something. I don't leave my house just to leave my house. You know,
Purpose behind it.
Purpose behind it. If I have nothing to do, I'm gonna go sit at my outside and lay my mat down and stretch and just enjoy the day. But like if I'm getting out of the house, it has to be purposeful. It has to be something impactful. And God has given me my purpose through food, alhamdulillah. And I always staying grateful. Gratefulness is the thing that opens doors for me.
Yeah, for
being
sure.
in a state of gratitude.
No, for sure. And I really have to agree that with you, because I put up a video the other day talking about a man who's comfortable being alone is a dangerous man. And sometimes, things that I love to tell the next generation is nothing good comes out of you being out at 12 a.m. Or 1 a.m. If you don't have anything to do, just stay home, learn a skill.
But it's easy said.
Right?
I feel like it's easier said than done, because what's happening is far deeper, I think. It concerns me a lot because, we all have family members or extended family or relatives for sure, and a lot of the way this industry is built, unfortunately, our kids are the music that they're listening to.
Yeah.
So they're not being disciplined or, how do you say this? Rites of passage, right?
100%.
So they don't have adults like ourselves who are able to show them the ways, teach them the ways, because, from the get-go, they have iPads, phones, and, you don't have their ear anymore. And then it came out recently that the music industry, is being pumped and fueled by the prison industry. It's the same, synonymous. So it's the same people that own the prisons, own the music industry.
Yeah.
So they tell these guys what to produce so they can have their main goal, which is to have a stock coming in at all times.
Yeah, music is our biggest Achilles heel.
For sure.
To me, because most of these rappers, probably to my knowledge, don't live that lifestyle.
Yeah.
They're saying that to sell music.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they.
But they're told though.
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
Told.
Yeah, but for someone to act upon that, and it all goes back to all of these kids not having the right mentor,
right mentorship,
the right people, the right family member or whatnot.
For sure.
But
for sure, and like that's one thing that we had each other. We didn't have a lot of technology between us, so we came together.
Yeah, 100%.
And we expected greatness from one another. But are you doing this? I'm like, I gotta push myself.
Great competition.
Yeah, positively.
If a young business-minded entrepreneur today in the next generation wants to be a chef, what's that one message that you want to tell?
My simple. I like to keep it easy. My simple message I like to say is, get a skill that others are willing to pay you for. It doesn't always have to be, we all have to be doing the same thing, right? We should have, someone of every service a professional from every, that we can go to. And again, I feel comfortable always having a Somali person before I.
That's beautiful.
You
guys heard the man. I wanted to get this going as many hours as I can, but as our time came to an end, I hope you learn so much from Chef Jamal. I'm very inspired by his story, who he is as a person, a brother that I look up to as a person, as a business owner. Jamal, I appreciate you so much. Absolutely. This has been really, really, really exciting. Until next time.
For sure. There'll be many more of this.
Yeah, we will see you in the next episode. Stay tuned.